Hello everyone, today I'm going to present on the topic Leader of Smart Grid Development. In this presentation, I will give a comprehensive overview of TaiPower's overall plan and practical applications in developing smart grid in Taiwan. My name is James Lee, and you can also simply call me James. Before getting to the detail, let me give you a brief overview of today's presentations. This presentation will divide it into four main parts. The first part is introductions to Taiwan's Smart Grid Action Plan, where I will explain the backgrounds, planning structures, and overall goals of Taiwan's smart grid development. The second part is about enhancement of communication infrastructure, which focuses on communication and data transmission system behind the smart grid. Communication actually serves as nervous systems that ensure the stable operations of the smart grid. The third part covers applications of Taiwan smart grid, where I will introduce several real-world smart grid applications that have already been implemented in Taiwan, such as V2G technology, microgrid, smart meters, and large-scale renewable energy integration. Finally, I will share my reflections and personal insights, which summarize the key takeaways and personal learning experiences I gained while preparing this report. So now, let's start in the first part. To begin with, let me briefly introduce Taiwan's overall smart grid action plan. With the global trends of energy transitions and the rapid increase of renewable energy in Taiwan, TaiPower has been actively developing smart grid technologies. The concepts of a smart grid goes far beyond simply upgrading the existing power grid infrastructure. Instead, it integrates advanced digital technologies such as artificial intelligence and Internet of Things, big data analytics, blockchain, and cloud computing. This technology helps makes the entire power systems more flexible, more stable, and much smarter. By implementing smart grid solutions, we can effectively respond to fluctuations in energy supplies and demand, improving renewable energy integrations, and also allow energy consumers to actively participate in power management. The ultimate goal is to build a power system that is low carbon, highly secure, resilient, and efficient. Next, I would like to introduce three key objectives of Taiwan's Smart Grid Action Plan. First, to solve instability caused by renewable energy. As solar and wind power grow, generation become weather dependent. The smart grid uses advanced control, energy storage, and forecasting to balance these fluctuations and maintain stable power supply. Second, to enhance grid resilience against extreme weather, typhoon, heavy rain, and earthquakes often damage power system. Smart grids adopt automate monitoring, fast fault isolations, and backup system to quickly restore power during disaster. Third, to encourage user participation to improve efficiency. With AMI meters, dynamic pricing, and demand response, user can monitor and adjust consumptions, help both save energy and reduce peak demand for the system. Now let's look at the overall planning structure. TaiPower officially launched the Smart Grid Master Plan in 2020. This plan was designed to a comprehensive framework to address TaiPower's energy transitions and future challenges that may arise. We can think of this plan as a very detailed task list. It contains of 7 strategic areas, which are further broken down into 21 specific actions, along with 14 performance targets to monitor and evaluate progress. In other words, This is not just a slogan, it contains clear objective, concrete actions, and measurable standards for each task. Besides TaiPower, multiple government agencies are also involved into this plan, such as Ministry of Economic Affairs and the Bureau of Standards. Uh, However, TaiPower serves as the main drive force, taking responsibility for 6 of the 7 strategic areas, overseeing like 17 specific area and being account for 13 performance indicators. Now let's take a closer look at how Taiwan's smart grid plan is organized into these 7 strategic areas. Actually, we can divide these 7 areas into a few function groups to better understand the logic behind the framework. The first 2 areas focus on core power system operations and control, smart dispatching, and power generation. This area aims to enhance renewable energy monitoring and integration. It includes building generation monitor systems, setting up energy trading platforms, and applying big data monitoring to coal-fired units to reduce failure rates. Grid management. These focus on managing the transmissions and distribution system using data-driven methods such as feeders, automation, and system operation data to support daily planning, operations, and maintenance. The third and fourth area are critical balancing mechanism within the smart grid. Energy storage system. Energy storage allows the system to stabilize fluctuations from renewable energy sources by instantly restore or supplying energy as needed. Demand-side management. These involves user-side participation through technologies like AMI smart meters, dynamic pricing, and demand response programs that allows users to help balance the grid load based on their usage behavior. The fifth area is the nervous systems of the entire smart grid, ICT infrastructure. Because the smart grid requires large volumes of real-time data transmission and control, reliable and high-speed communication network are essential. This include fiber optic network upgrades, IoT integrations, and cybersecurity protection. The last 2 areas serve as supporting foundation. Industrial development. It encouraged local industry to participate in manufacture and service sectors related to smart grid equipment, building a completed domestic supply chain. Statutory regulations. As new technologies are introduced, regulation must involve as well. These include renewable energy grid connections standards, equipment certifications platforms, and rulemaking led by agencies such as Ministry of Economic Affairs and the Bureau of Standards. In short, these 7 strategic area are tightly interconnected, covering everything from generation, transmission, storage, and user participation to communication, industry, and regulations. In terms of development stages, we can actually divide the promotions of the smart grid into several spaces. Currently, TaiPower is in the smart grid 2.0 stage. At this stage, the main focus is on practicalities and stable operation. The goal here is to first strengthen the grid's resilience so that new technology and renewable energy can be integrated smoothly without negatively affecting power supply quality. In future, once the system becomes stable enough, TaiPower will move toward the Smart Grid 3.0 stage. This stage is more like an open platform where various energy resources can be interconnect, trade, and share with each other. In other words, not only power companies, but individual users, business, and even communities will be able to participate directly in the energy market, forming what we call the energy internet. Now, we move on to one of the most critical parts of the smart grid, the enhancement of communication infrastructure. TaiPower has made a strong progressions in communication infrastructure. 170 kilometers of fiber optics cables have been installed. 62 fiber optic communication systems ensure real-time monitoring data across the grid. Almost 3,000 communication circuits handle protective relay to patch data and feeder automations for fast systems responses. Although the communication infrastructure is in place, as the smart grid grows more complex, its capacity needs constant upgrades. TaiPower has upgraded its core backbones to 100G over 10G, ensuring real-time data transmissions, avoiding congestions during emergency, and supporting future AI forecasting and smart patch applications. TaiPower is also developing OTN, which is Optic Transport Network, to handle massive data processing need to renewable forecasting, load modeling, and anomaly detection. With AI, IoT, and 5G being integrated, communication demand will be growing. In a smart grid, communication is much more than data transfer. It affects efficiency, fault response, and user participation. So there are several ways for this. First, real-time monitoring. High-speed communication allows instant detections of issues like voltage change, equipment overheatings, or overload. Second, flexible control. It enables fast actions such as fault isolations, feeder switchings, and storage activations during system abnormal. Third, user participations. Through AMI smart meters and apps, users can monitor their consumption in real time and adjust usage. Lastly, cross-domain integrations. As EVs, storage, B2G, and microgrids, stable communication ensures all these systems operate smoothly together. In summary, communication has become a core foundation of smart grid operations. The smart grid relies on real-time data flows across generation, transmissions, distribution, user, EVs, and microgrids. So far, we have talked a lot about overall plannings and foundational infrastructure of the smart grid. Now, we are moving to one of the most important parts of today's presentations. How are these smart grid plans actually being applied in real-world operations? So let's start with one key application, V2G technology, which is called vehicle to grid. In smart grid, users are not just consumers, they also help supply and stabilize the system. TaiPower partnered with Gogoro to build the world's first V2G battery swapping stations for electric scooters. Each Gogoro battery acts as a small storage unit. During peak demand, battery discharge to support the grid. During off-peak demand, they recharge and stay on standby. V2G also offers disaster backup. In short, users are no longer just consumers, but active participants in the power system. Okay, let's look at microgrid technology. A microgrid is a small power system that normally runs with the main grid, but it can operate independently during disaster or outage. In Taiwan, TaiPower has built microgrid in disaster-prone areas such as Penghu, and Kingman. Um, Energy storage plays a key role, storing extra energy during the days for nighttime uses, keep supply stable. So overall, for disaster-prone Taiwan, microgrid are vital tools for strengthen grid resilience. In addition to stability and backup, smart grid also emphasize users' participation. Traditionally, users cannot track real-time consumption. They only saw usage while they receiving the bill. Now, with AMI, which is Advanced Monitoring Infrastructure, user can see their real-time usage anytime. By the end of the 2023, TaiPower had installed 2.7 million AMI smart meters, targeting 3 billion in 2024. With this, users can shift highly energy activities to off-peak hours, like lower bills and help reduce bills demand. For TaiPower's real-time data also enable demand response program to dynamic pricing, improving overall load management. Besides renewable energy forecasting, another key factor is system inertia. Inertia comes from the rotating mass of large traditional generators, which help stabilize frequency during substance changes. But as renewable like solars and winds increase, they lack physics spinning inertia, making stability management harder. To solve this, TaiPower partnered with Reactive Technologies from the UK to implement real-time inertia monitoring. Currently, 10 monitoring stations across Taiwan constantly will measure the rates of changes of frequency to access stability. In future, this data will be combined with energy storage system. When inertia is low, storage can be quickly inject or absorb powers to stabilize frequency and ensure safe operations. Finally, let's move on to reflection. Throughout this report, I've identified 3 key takeaways. First, smart grid requires full system integration, not just generation and consumptions, but storage, transmissions, dispatch, communication, user participation, regulations, and international collaborations. Cross-domain skills are essential for future energy development. Second, renewable integration is highly technical. Besides installing solar panel and wind turbine, it needs real-time forecasting, AI, big data, storage, and backup system to keep the grid stable. Third, I was impressed by Taiwan's global competitiveness. TaiPower ranked second globally in the Smart Grid Index for 2 years, showing the strong integrations ability despite limited resources. Finally, this report gave me new perspectives on the future of energy and technology integration. Smart grid will become highly integrated platforms, combining V2G, turning EVs into mobile storage, microgrid, allowing community to manage local energy, AI and big data, improving real-time dispatch. This also showed me that integration across field is more important than just technical knowledge. Cross-domain skills will become critical for managing large complex systems. For my own future in electrical or information engineering, I will focus on building my ability in system integration, cross-domain collaboration, and practical application to drive future success.